Okay, I think what is happening? Why can I not hear anything? There we go. Okay. Okay, let's go. Let's start. What is happening? I forgot how to do this. I don't remember how to stream, everyone. Oh my gosh, hi! I'm here. Hello. Oh my gosh, it feels so weird to be back. Hi, everyone. Oh my gosh, there's actually people in the chat too. That's so crazy. Let's see. Who do we have here? We've got Mercen is here. Magical is here as well, as usual. Curmudgeon is here. Tom, my buddy, my friend. I think Shia was here earlier too. Not sure if she's still back. Hello, hello. Oh my gosh. Hi, everyone. It's so good to see you all. How is everyone doing? I literally have no plan for this stream other than I wanted to come on and make sure that my channel wasn't completely dead and, just remind you all that I still exist and that we're still here. We're still out here. Shadow is here as well too. Shadow Link. Poke Lirf is here as well too. Iam is here as well too. Oh my gosh, there's so many people. Thank you guys so much for coming. I was so sure that I was gonna hit live and no one was gonna show up and I was gonna be just sitting here talking to myself. So thank you guys so much for being here. I super appreciate it. It really means the world to me. Doing fine. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. I've got a cup of tea here with me. I'm trying to cut down on dairy, not for any other reasons than it's somewhat making my stomach upset. So I am been switching over to oat milk and it's been a challenge, let me tell you. I am such a dairy boy. I love milk. I know that sounds weird, but I love dairy. I love ice cream. I love sour cream, whipped cream, any kind of cheese, all that sort of stuff. But my stomach has been a little unhappy with me lately due to all that. So I am trying oat milk and slowly getting used to it. Feeling tired, but that's normal. I feel you on that, Magical. I totally feel you on that. Speaking of tired, so yeah, I guess part of why I've been kind of away for so long is because I've been so tired. Work has just been kicking my ass lately, and I don't want to get too into details on it just because I can't talk too much about work stuff publicly, but yeah, it's just been really rough lately, and I've been trying to find a new job, and that in and of itself has been really tough because trying to find a job is doing a full-time job in and of itself. So it's been just so stressful and so busy and so exhausting, and that's part of why I just haven't been online. I haven't even been on Twitter much. I really struggle even to go on Discord, and I'm trying better to be more active on those places. So I really appreciate everyone who's just stuck around and still supports me and decides to show up to these live streams, even though they're few and far between. It really does mean so much to me. Toon is here as well too. Hey there, Toon. Thanks so much for dropping by. I really appreciate it. Shadow says, I had a doctor's appointment the other day and the nurse seeing me sounded like me. Oh my gosh, that's really funny. You're at a relative's house right now too? Nice. Sounds like fun. Robin is here as well too. Hello, hello, Robin. Thank you so much for being here. I like soy and almond milk. Yeah. I actually don't really like soy or almond milk, which is why I'm trying oat milk. And so far I like it better than soy and almond milk, but yeah. Yeah, and job stuff for sure. You just got to do what you got to do. Yeah, so I'm taking a little bit of time off of work right now, mostly just for my mental health and to just catch a break, catch a breath. I've also been going back to therapy pretty regularly. So to be completely transparent, I had a little bit of a mental breakdown at the end of November. And that's part of why I've just had to kind of step away for so long. It's been a few months, I think, since I have really been super online. And I've been really in my own head a lot, I've got to be honest. I've been really just like psyched out in a bad way, not in a good way. Like really just freaked out about like the future. And I started my job about like 5 years ago because I like really wanted my own health insurance. I wanted to like start my medical transition. I wanted to get my independence and live on my own. And like once I kind of accomplished all that, and also like once my mom's attitude towards my transition sort of started turning around, um my motivation for like going to work just sort of like disappeared, because like I was working so hard and trying to get a full-time job so that I could transition and get surgery and all that stuff. And now I'm like kind of past all that, and it's like I'm here, I'm not really fulfilled at my job anymore, I'm not really learning anything, I'm just sort of stressed out all the time. So like what is next? What's kind of the future? What am I supposed to be kind of doing with my life is sort of the big questions I've been like thinking about. Yeah, Toon, you've gotten stressed about that stuff too. Yeah. Extreme stuff too. Yeah. So it's just been like really a lot of anxiety in my own head about like the future and figuring out what I want to do with myself, and like not really feeling good enough for anything. And yeah, it's just been a really tough time. Yeah, Magical, thank you, I really appreciate that. Yeah. So honestly, like I actually think that I'm gonna be moving back home with my parents soon. That's sort of like my vague plan right now. So like I'm in my apartment right now. This is a place I really love. I've been here for a few years, and I love living on my own. I love having my independence, but yeah, just like the mental toll that work has been taking on me lately has not really been worth it. And so I've been really considering like moving back home with my parents, staying at my job for like a few more months, just so that I can like get some money and pad up my savings a little bit and not quit totally rash and like without any sort of plan. But like, I'm gonna honestly, I've been really hesitant to kind of like pull the trigger on this plan of like, okay, I'm gonna move back home, I'm gonna start packing my things and moving my stuff and getting ready to start living at home. And I haven't really done that yet, just because like there's still like this doubt and anxiety that I have about like quitting my job and about moving back home, because there's also like so much other crazy factors, right? Like there's the job market, which is just like such a mess right now. Like there's layoffs happening like left and right, and it's so competitive and it's really hard to get a job right now. Um so yeah, I'm just like so unsure about like what I want to do and with my future. And there's like a part of me too that wants to like try doing YouTube full time, which I know is like very difficult to do, and I don't want to be like rash about it, but like between you guys and me, so when I first started my channel in 2021, I think it was like the end of 2021, beginning of 2022, um I just wanted to talk about Infinity Train. I love that show so much, and none of my friends were watching it, so I literally just wanted to talk about it. And with Lake is Trans, with my first video, I wanted that video to exist. I like saw book 2 of Infinity Train and was like, wow, this trans allegory to me is so obvious, so plain as day. Everyone is talking about it. Why is there not a YouTube video that is like dissecting and analyzing this? Why are none of my favorite animation YouTube channels talking about this? And then I realized that none of my favorite animation YouTube channels could talk about this, because none of them were trans. None of them understood it from like the experiential point of view. And I realized that the only way that this video was going to exist was if I was going to make it, right? So I made that video, and I just wanted to talk about Infinity Train. So I kept making Infinity Train videos. It really like didn't feel like work to me, because it was just like something I was doing for fun, right? I was just like excited to talk about the show and throw together this video. So honestly, I didn't really try that hard with that video. It was literally just something I was doing for fun and like didn't put a ton of brain power and effort into. I mean, I did, of course, right? Like it took work to put that video together, but like it was somewhat easy for me because I was just already so excited to talk about the show. Um and so once that excitement kind of faded away and making videos became like harder again, it just sort of got harder to keep up. But there is like this part of my brain that like wonders, like I kind of got a level of success. You know, I don't want to be like, oh my gosh, I like didn't even try and I got like so many views, right? Like that's not where I'm coming from here. But I was genuinely surprised, right, at how many views that video got and how many subscribers I got from making those videos. You know, the kind of growth I had was actually really surprising to me. And so there's like a part of me that wonders, right? Like what if I actually did try? What if I actually put in the effort and like really worked hard at it and like was thoughtful and mindful about what kind of stuff I was doing and growing the channel, right? Like could it actually be successful? Could it actually like amount to something? Um you know, that's just like a question I have for myself, and I know that really the only way I can answer that question is if I actually try, if I give it a god honest shot. But like, yeah, there's a part of me that wants to like quit my job and like when I move back home with my parents, like try doing YouTube full time just to like see how far I could really go with it. But you know, obviously that's also really scary. It's a huge risk to start working for yourself, essentially starting your own business, right? Like you are your own boss, but you're also your own intern. You have to do all the work yourself. And like moving back home with my parents, while I think it might be a really good temporary solution, there's of course that part of me, right, that is just like dreading moving back home. I'm turning 30 later this year too, so there's like that part of my head that's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be like 30 years old living with my parents, which I know is like normal in this day and age, like in this economy and everything. But, you know, there's always going to be that part of me that is just sort of like, I don't want to do that, you know? So there's just like all these doubts and thoughts and whatnot. Let me catch up here on the chat. Was the losing the power in my apartment a sign to move? Yeah, absolutely magical. That had to be a sign for sure. Robin says my feelings make sense. Thank you, thank you. Toon says I think doing YouTube full time would only add to the stress. Yeah, exactly. Like that's part of what I'm worried about too, right? Like doing something that I was doing that was for fun and brought me joy and was like a cool way to connect with people and just like have a good time. um Having to turn that into a full-time job, right? I'm worried that the joy and excitement and the fun would get taken out of it because I would have to be like so stressed about the algorithm and whether or not I was like doing the right trends and like all this other stuff, right? And like there's a reason that so many YouTubers are quitting now, right? I mean, how many I'm leaving YouTube videos have we gotten in the past few months, right? Like there's a reason for all of that, and it's because YouTube genuinely has gotten harder to be a creator on. I mean, it's not, there's so much stuff happening, right? I mean, there's like AI and all that bullshit that's happening that's making it harder for creatives to find work. You know, there's so much stuff going on with like the leadership at YouTube, right? Policies that are getting added and changed and whatnot. So yeah, there's just like a lot going on, and it doesn't feel like a good time for creators right now, which is also part of why I just have a lot of doubt and anxiety around that. Um been thinking of doing YouTube full time, but yeah, exactly, Robin, exactly. That's the thing I'm worried about too, like getting that burnout. Um yeah, the initial videos were a lot of fun, and I want to keep going. I still have that drive. It's just not the same. It's not the same drive that I had when I was obsessed with Infinity Train, you know. Yeah, exactly, Robin. YouTube working against creators for sure. That's what I mean when I say like it's kind of really hard right now to be a creator. Magical says I'm 30 years old living with my parents and don't have a desire to be apart from your family. That's good. I'm glad that it's working out for you. Yeah, I feel like it's probably not going to be as bad as I think in my head. Um yeah, cuz a lot of things have changed. Like my relationship with my parents has changed significantly. Um and like they're also living in a new house and everything. So like so much stuff has changed. So I really can't base what my experience is going to be based off of my past experiences, but there's still gonna always be that feeling, right? Tune says my YouTube videos going forward will probably be few and far between. The summer camp island vid took forever, but it was worth it. That's awesome. Yeah, I watched your first summer camp island video and it was really good, and I need to catch up and watch the show because it looks really good. It looks like I would enjoy it. I know you're gonna get these overreacting thumbnail faces for me and all this stuff, like a real freaking YouTuber. Yeah, so I don't know. I really don't know. But at the same time, like trying to find another job, like ideally, I would love to find a job that allows me some sort of like freedom and flexibility and autonomy so that like I can have the energy at the end of the day to, work on my hobbies and do YouTube and whatever, right? And so um yeah, I really am kind of at a crossroads, I feel, where like I kind of have a vague plan of like, okay, I'm thinking about quitting my job. I have sort of an idea of how to do it somewhat responsibly, right? Like moving back home, saving a little bit, and then quitting just so it's not like I have no money all of a sudden. But yeah, I guess I just like don't really know what I want to do after that. Whether I want to like just keep trying to find another full-time job that I can hopefully just be a little bit more well rested at and like less stressed at, or if I want to like actually give it a shot and like try doing YouTube or freelancing or whatever else, right? And so yeah, I just have a lot of doubt and conflicting feelings, but I know that I don't necessarily have to have everything figured out right this second, and I have sort of time to sit and think about it. So um yeah, it's hard to think about big stressful life decisions when you're also like chronically exhausted from stress and work and whatnot. So it's been tough. It's been tough, but I don't want this stream to just be all doom and gloom and negativity. Um yeah, I need to watch Summer Camp Island. It looks really really good. Another show I need to watch too is Scavenger's Reign. I know Tom was telling me about Scavenger's Reign, and I've heard some other folks talking about it. I've heard it was really good, and I know that I would enjoy it. It looks like something that I would enjoy for sure. So I have it on my list, and it's probably going to be the next one I watch. But I've been watching a lot of like D&D shows lately. I've been like watching Dimension 20. There's a really cool actual play show that started coming out on YouTube called Daisy Quest, and it's an all South Asian Indian cast all playing Dungeons and Dragons, and like the fantasy world of D&D is like kind of inspired by like South Asian culture, and it's really really good and it's really fun and has some of my favorite comedians, some of my favorite South Asian comedians doing this actual play. So I've been watching that. That's been really fun. It's on YouTube. It's free. It's called Daisy Quest. And then of course Dimension 20 Fantasy High Junior Year has just started. So I've been catching up on that as well. Mercen has heard good things about Scavenger's Reign. Do you know if it's a one-off? I have no idea. I think it's just a one-off, but I have no idea. Am I watching Dungeon Meshi? I haven't watched any anime recently. I used to watch more anime when I was like in college, but I haven't really watched any recently. But it looks good. I've seen kind of clips and stuff here and there, and it looks really good, and it seems like something I would enjoy. I just haven't watched anime in forever. Um, yeah, it's the kind where you're grateful it exists at all. Yeah, Scavenger's Reign for sure, for sure. Have I heard the the tabletop show run by Connie Chang? No, I haven't. I don't think I even know who Connie Chang is. I would love to learn more though. Please tell me more. I've also been playing D&D too. Part of my time away from the internet has been trying to go out and like actually be around real people more and like hanging out with friends and touching grass, all that good stuff. And so I have had a monthly D&D group with my friends, which has been really fun. I My character is a bard named Beardo, and he is a clown actually. So he's a bard clown, and he was once part of a traveling circus that he got separated from when he was a child. And so his personal mission is to try to find his family by hunting down this like traveling circus that he like heard rumors of, like, oh, there's this traveling circus that goes around, maybe they know where my family is, or maybe my family is part of them. So he's like trying to find his family. So that's been a lot of fun as well too. Yes, Shia, please link it to me. Oh my gosh, so much stuff is happening, so much stuff is coming out. Oh, another thing I've been playing a lot of, which is hard to play a lot of because it is a mobile game that doesn't have that much stuff going on, but I've been also really into Pokemon Sleep. I think I've talked about it before on stream. Um it's stupid. It's stupid and fun. It's like such a pointless little game. Like all you really do is make the number go up, but it's fun. You catch your Pokemon and whatnot. And actually, I actually wanted to try seeing if I could stream a little bit of it. Let me see. I downloaded a thing. Let me see if I can get it to work. But yeah, what other stuff have you guys been doing? Have you been like playing games or watching any cool shows? What is this app called again? Let's view. That's what it's called. Would Has Been Hotel be your kind of thing? Keeks is really into it, even making a side channel doing covers. Yeah, I saw some of Keeks covers. They're really good. Has Been Hotel as a show itself doesn't necessarily appeal to me too much. I've seen kind of clips here and there. Um and I've never seen anything that made me be like, oh, I really want to watch that. But I know it's really popular and a lot of people like it, so I'm not a hater or anything. Mercen is thinking about Revolutionary Girl Uchina these days. Nice. Yeah, I haven't seen that one, but it's really good. She is going to the gym, trying dating apps. Ooh, I hope that is working out for you. I've been kind of like seeing some folks here and there too. Not anything too serious, but just trying to enjoy single life as much as I can. You love Has Been Hotel? Magical? That's awesome. Yeah, it's really popular. I know it's a lot of people enjoy it. Trying to diversify your media palette more. That's always good. It's always good to diversify your media palette. I know there's been like a lot of movies that have come out recently as well too. Thinking of picking up a new hobby of some kind. You don't know what though. Why isn't this working? Part of me is struggling to get into watching new shows lately, mostly because I fear getting into them, they'll go away. No, yeah, I think that's fair. it's really unfortunate that so many so many shows are just getting canceled and not being allowed to continue, and yeah, there's just so much stuff happening that makes it difficult. Let's see if I can get this to work. This will be very cool if I can get this to work. Toon says I watched Grand Budapest Hotel with Tom some weeks ago, and he helped give me more appreciation for it than I already did on my own. Yeah, nice. I also watched that movie with Tom. He introduced that to me a while ago, and I really enjoyed it. It's a really good movie. It's got a lot of wit and humor and style, and also a lot of heart and substance to it as well too. So yeah, I really enjoyed that movie. I'm glad that you enjoyed it too. Okay, let's see. Let's see here. Uh, Game capture? Is that gonna work? Let's see. Screen capture? Capture gain. Okay, let's try this. Hmm. Let's see. Trying to get a job that's relevant to my library science degree, and it's being super hard, but did get an interview for a part-time cafe job and signed as a part-time lifeguard. Yeah, it's really hard to get a job that's like actually in your field, you know? Um, so I totally know what you mean. Okay, I might not be able to do this in the way I want. Let's see. Oh, nope, that's not what I wanted. Oops, that's also not what I wanted. What do I want? How do I... Is it Alt? Yeah, there we go. It's Alt to crop this. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Sleep. It's been kind of my latest obsession. Oh my god, that actually works. That's amazing. I don't know if the sound is going to work, but the sound in this game is not very important. Let's see. Da, 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 da. I liked Grand Budapest Hotel. I wish I liked Grand Budapest Hotel. Grand Budapest more. I love Wes's other work, especially Moonrise Kingdom. Also currently making bread. Nice. Make that bread, Shadow. One day I may make a video about it, and I hope to change your mind on that. Yeah, Tom, I think his favorite Wes Anderson movie is Grand Budapest, which I think is the only one I've seen, so I can't attest to the other ones, but I did enjoy Grand Budapest a lot. Okay. We're playing Pokemon Sleep. This is my shiny Beware. Look at him. He's so beautiful. I love him. My Altaria is giving me so many eggs. My ingredients pouch is full right now, though. This game is stupidly complicated for something that's just supposed to be like sleeping and catching Pokemon. Like there's actually there's a whole meta in this game, guys. Like it's crazy. It's crazy how like people get super into it and get like really into min maxing. Oh, I got my diamonds reward. Uh I'm in government contracting right now. Yeah, I feel you too. I also am working in government related jobs, so I also hope to one day do something a little bit more creative. Oh, got my sleep points. That feeling when Altaria gives you so many eggs. I know, I know. Yeah, for sure. I'm glad that you could stop by, Toon. Thanks so much for swinging by. I really appreciate it. I will definitely check out Scavenger's Reign. Thanks so much for reminding me that I need to watch that. Okay. This is just becoming a Pokemon Sleep stream now. This is going to be my new niche, guys. I'm giving up on animation and we're just going to become a Pokemon Sleep channel now. What did I just get? I think I just got a biscuit, right? That was my free gift. I'm going to give my Snorlax breakfast because I haven't given him breakfast yet. And because it's Sunday, I'm going to give him a big old meal because the cooking pot is expanded for Sunday. Oh, how do I... Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. Oops. Accidentally closed out of it. I'm new to this application. There we go. How do I move? There we go. There we go. I never understood how all the UI is white in a sleep game. Yeah, that's so true. They need to do like a dark mode or something because this thing is pretty blinding when you're playing it at night. Scavenger's Reign is utterly brilliant. Toon and I are sort of syncing videos about it. Ooh, that's exciting. I'm excited to see that. Okay, so the flower gift macarons are a new recipe that just got added this week for Valentine's Day. Look how cute they are. It's got a little cherub in the middle. I love it. Okay, now I gotta dump a bunch of ingredients into this. Let's see. Let's see here. What do I not need? I guess I can do all these beans. I don't want to use the slowpoke tail. I can use some oil. Okay. Maybe 5 of these, 5 of these. Yeah, a little bit of honey. Actually, let's do cacao. I think I have more easier ways to get cacao than I do honey. Okay. Yeah, this is a big old pot. Let's start cooking. As someone who's really into lore and gameplay, despite not having the hardware to play it, I understand how people get super into obscure video games. Yeah, for sure, for sure. That is true. Gonna leave, but just wanted to say really enjoyed the Wolfwalkers video. Thank you so much, Mercen. That is very kind of you to say. I really appreciate that. Thanks so much for stopping by for as long as you did, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. I did not get an extra tasty, which is kind of a bummer. If you get an extra tasty this week, it's like multiplied by 6 or something because it's like a special event week. So I'm very upset that I didn't get an extra tasty there, but whatever. It is what it is. I'm hoping to get my Snorlax to rank Master 15 this week, which will be a new record for me. Ha ha ha. We're so close. We're so close to 15. I think we'll get there. We'll get there by the end of the day. Collect all my ingredients. Ooh, Blastoise given so many ingredients. I love you, Blastoise. Let's see. All my sleep styles. You only played Sleep for one day and it's so complicated. It is so complicated. Honestly, it's more complicated than it has any right to be. But I kind of like that about it. Like, I don't know. I like complicated games and min-maxing and strategizing, and if you add Pokemon on top of that, then like I'm sold, because I am always gonna be a sucker for Pokemon for my entire life. They've got a chokehold on me. I fully admit that. So many candies that all my friends are giving me. So awesome. Ooh, and I'm leveling up. Very nice. I just kind of want to show you guys my team, like the Pokemon that I have, because I'm really proud of my guys, my team. So this is like my team sorted by strength right now. So these are like my strongest guys. My Walrein is pretty beastly. It has helping bonus and lots of helping speed, so it's going to give me lots of berries. I don't have a Venusaur yet. That's the only of the starters that I don't have an evolved form yet. So I still need to get a good Venusaur. My Absol is what I am super duper proud of, because I just leveled this guy up to level 30 this week, which means I unlocked him getting apples, and he drops 8 apples at a time, which is just ridiculous. I am swimming in apples. It's great. And then my Raichu, of course, is super strong. My Arcanine I'm also super proud of, because he's really good. He's got like really good skill trigger value, so he is very good at giving me extra goodies. And yeah, I just like, oh, my shiny Beware, I'm super proud of him too. He's not like the best, like he's not got the best nature, but he's shiny and he is very cool, and so I decided to evolve him anyway. Yeah, those are all my guys. I'm really proud of them. They're very good. Sorry I never watched your Wolfwalkers video. Oh, no worries. You don't have to apologize. Uh, a family can be gay for gay furries. 100%, 100%. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no worries. If you like Wolfwalkers, though, I'm sure you will enjoy the video. So if you ever do have the time to check it out, please do. Um, okay. Do I have anything else I want to talk about? Really, not too much. Do you guys want to see the sleep report? The so like when you go to bed every day, right? You wake up in the morning, and that's like your chance to review your sleep from the previous night and catch Pokemon. So I don't know if you guys want to do that right now, or I can just do it on my own later. Saw Needle, hello. Yes, I am back. I'm here. Um yeah, actually, one thing I do want to talk about before I close out is kind of like the future of the channel a little bit. Still waiting for more Infinity Train, aren't we all? We're all going to be waiting for more Infinity Train for a long time. I do kind of want to talk about the future of the channel a little bit, because like, you know, like I was kind of talking about earlier, there is like that part of me that wonders, right? Like if I actually gave it a real honest to God shot, like, and really tried, like how far could I go? Could I actually like be somewhat successful? And I've had a lot of ideas about like rebranding the channel, or starting a second channel to like do kind of more of this like less formal kind of side stuff on. But I feel like I'm not quite ready to start a second channel yet. I feel like I kind of have to be good at being consistent with the first channel first before I can start any other channels. And my audience, it feels weird to still say that out loud, but my audience isn't quite large enough, I feel, to warrant a second channel. So for now, we're just going to be sticking with the one channel. But yeah, I've been kind of considering like rebranding it, maybe doing some different styles of videos and stuff like that. But the main thing I want to do more than anything else is I want to make more Your Fav is Trans. Like that has always been a goal of mine. When I made the first Lake is Trans video, I always had the intention of making that a series. I wanted to do like different characters, different shows, different eras, different mediums. and just like talk about different characters and read them through this queer lens, this trans lens, right? And I have been somewhat on and off working on different videos here and there, but I really want your faves trans to be a priority because that is what I kind of envisioned as like the heart of the channel when I first incepted it. So that's going to kind of be my goals and priorities going forward is I really want to make more your faves trans, and maybe down the line there's going to be like a rebrand or something like that as well too. So just keep your eyes out for that in the future. I just really need to actually sit down and write and work on it and motivate myself and make the time and actually like sit down and do it, because that's really been the thing holding me back. But you know, like I said, there's just been so much stuff going on, like with work and trying to find a new job and other stuff going on in life. And so forgive me that I haven't been working on things so actively, but like I have so many ideas and so much stuff that like I'm genuinely excited about. I don't want this channel to just be dead. I have things that I genuinely want to make. And it's the same thing with the lake video too, right? It's like I know that these videos are not going to exist unless I make them, unless I'm the one who brings them into existence. And sure, maybe someone else will make a video talking about how a character is trans, and like that's totally fair and valid, but they're not going to do it the same way I do. They're not going to do it from my perspective, and they're not going to have the same insights that I do. And so not to say that like no one else can make, you know, trans analysis videos. I think that more people should do it, honestly, but I also feel like I kind of need to do it in a weird way. If I want these videos to exist in the way that I want them to exist, I have to do it. I have to make them, right? Like I really don't have another choice other than that. So that's kind of my idea. That's kind of my plan for that. Um yes. Do what you want to make. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Saw Needle. I appreciate that. Shadow Link, yes, you are an audience. Thank you so much. Yeah, Tom, so many characters to make your famous trans about. Ooh, your famous trans about Officer K. Actually, yes, that would be so good. I will absolutely want to like collab with you on that though. That would be a lot of fun. Um, yeah, that would be a really good one for sure. Can't wait to see. Yeah, thanks, Saw Needle. I appreciate that. I think when it comes to YouTube channels, they should be about topics that you're passionate about with quality over quantity, for sure. Thank you. Thank you for being so understanding, you know, taking as much time. I really appreciate that. You know, there's so much pressure on YouTube to keep making stuff, to keep churning out content, right? Quantity over quality. But a lot of my favorite channels on YouTube tend to not post very often. They post very few and far between. Their videos tend to be a bit longer or a bit more dense, a bit more thoroughly researched and whatnot. So those are the channels that I prefer, and definitely what I kind of want to model my own channel off of. I don't want to be like churning out, you know, half-assed videos like every day or anything like that. But I feel like maybe trying to at least be a little bit more consistent about it, like a couple times a month, or maybe even just like once a month might be enough, you know? But yeah, I just kind of have to push myself and do the thing, actually do the writing. Da, da, da. Oh, thank you so much, Sonneedle. I appreciate the kind words about the lake video. Solar Sands channel. I have not heard of Solar Sands, but I will have to go check them out based off of your recommendation. So thank you. Uh, yeah, absolutely. Topics that are unique yet interesting. For sure. Yeah, I'll check it out. Thank you. Your famous trans about Officer K would be the easiest analysis video ever. Yeah, for sure. Another idea for a video I had, and you know, let's keep this in between all of us because I do kind of want this to be somewhat of a surprise when it comes out. But I had like an idea for a your fave is trans. It wasn't really going to be a your fave is trans, but it was going to be a queer analysis video talking about Kurt Cobain. I talked about this with Tom a little bit off stream, but there was some discourse going around on Twitter a while ago about how Kurt Cobain was trans or whatever, right? And of course, there was so much like backlash to that, people being like, how dare you insinuate that someone could be a trans woman or trans feminine or whatnot. I think it's a really interesting and really nuanced and complicated subject when talking about historical figures that might not have had the same context or language or understanding about gender and sexuality as we do, right, in 2024, but still having like some expression of queerness but not having the same language. Like how do we engage with historical figures, right, that were presenting these queer ideas but maybe didn't necessarily have the language that we do to describe their experiences, right? Like how do we talk about those things? How do we engage with those people, right? Um how do we do so in a way that's both respectful and not uh overscribing what someone has stated they are, but also at the same time acknowledging the fact that looking back at history has an inherent bias, right? Like we have a bias as we look back at our history to assume that things were similar to, I guess, how they are now, right? Like people look back at history, like so much of the anti-trans narrative, right, is talking about how being trans is a new thing. It's a trend that like people are only doing now. And it's like this social contagion, right? That like these kids are getting infected with, and like trans people never existed before like 2022 or whatever, right? And it's like, that's such bullshit, right? That's obviously a lie. Trans people have been existing since gender has existed, right? Like since the concept of gender identity has existed, there has always been trans people. But the language that those people have used in the past is not the same as the language that we're using now. So with that acknowledgement in mind, with knowing the fact that there has always been queer people and trans people in our history, but with the acknowledgement that through the retelling of that history, the inherent bias of cis heteronormativity has been ingrained in those stories. So, of course, there's going to be a level of backlash, a level of anger, a level of vitriol, especially from homophobes and transphobes, right? For the people who say, like, no, those people weren't trans or they weren't queer. They were just normal guys who just happen to wear dresses sometimes, right? Like there's always going to be that anger that's there, because of the inherent bias that has been affected in applying the retelling of history, right? Sorry, I'm kind of using a lot of jargony words and I'm kind of jumbling around a little bit, but I think you guys get the general idea of what I'm saying, right? Like I think it's really important to apply that queer lens when looking through history and looking at historical figures that presented in a non-traditional way but didn't have the same language to express their gender nonconformity or their queerness uh in a way that we can kind of easily understand it now. And I find there's a lot of interesting stuff to chew on in that ambiguous gray area where we want to talk about someone's identity in this like retrospective way, right? There's a lot of nuance there, and I find it really fascinating. So I had an idea to talk about that with Kurt Cobain. Um, Also because I've been really getting into Nirvana and like 90s rock and roll and grunge lately as well too. So Kurt Cobain in general has been a really fascinating figure to me, both as a queer figure and as a musician, right? I mean, obviously he is one of the most influential, impactful musicians of all time. I think that's pretty fair to say. So I've really grown to appreciate him as a person. Obviously, he had a really tragic life, and a really tragic death. That was really, a huge part of his narrative, right? A huge part of the reason that people talk about him, right? But yeah, I find his life and his legacy and his impact to be really really interesting and something that I definitely want to delve more closely into. Let's see what y'all are saying in the chat. Um, I talked about this with Tom a little bit. Yeah, we talked about it a lot. That's true. My friend is doing a project on David Bowie, very similar. Yeah, for sure. I think that's another person that we could look back to, and yeah, I definitely agree with Tom that he has some problematic elements to him, but yeah, definitely someone that we can like look back to and talk about in a similar way for sure. I feel that about Hans Christian Andersen, the author of Little Mermaid and Snow Queen. Maybe a bi man with internalized homophobia, or just autistic with body ickiness. Maybe a trans girl. Yeah, yeah, totally. I think like there's a lot of queerness in even just like that story of the Little Mermaid, right? There's that idea of like wanting to be seen for yourself, or like wanting to change your body, right, in order to be accepted into a society that you're not a part of, right? The queer coding of the mermaid, right, I think is something that has kind of always been part of that mythos, right? So yeah, I can totally see that with Hans Christian Andersen as well too. Uh yeah, Bowie definitely had some flaws for sure. I can agree with that, Tom. Prince is another great artist who bends the rules. Yeah, definitely another great queer gender nonconforming artist. Um oh no, I'm so sorry about that, Shadow Link, that your state is banning gender affirming care for minors. Yeah, that it's been such a fucking problem. Like so many states across the country are having all these anti-trans laws. And of course it's because there's an election coming up, right? I mean, that's like the only reason that these things even happen. So, yeah, I'm really sorry that you're having to deal with that, Shadow. I hope that, I would encourage you to try to find some advocacy groups in your area, some local nonprofits, or volunteers that are. I guarantee that there are people in your community that are doing the work, and if you have the time and capacity to, reach out and ask them what you can do to support, because it can feel really hopeless when you're faced with these systemic issues that feel like they are impossible to fight against. And they are impossible to fight against when you're on your own, right? But that's right. Um, uh, ask them if you can help out in any way. I'm sure that they will have something for you to do. Let's see. Yeah, yeah, for sure. I hear you, Shadow. Prince also unfortunately made some homophobic comments. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think he like went through some sort of like religious awakening later in his life or something, which I think is unfortunate. I mean, it's not unfortunate to have a religious awakening. It's unfortunate if your religious awakening also includes homophobia. There's a trans guitarist called Stanley Jordan who's worth investigating. You know what, Tom? Something I've been actually meaning to ask you about in general is I've been getting a lot of my music recommendations from you. Something else that I've been getting really into in recent months has been different bands, different music. One of the bands that Tom has gotten me really into lately has been Radiohead. I have been super obsessed with Radiohead these past few months. I've been like listening to them nonstop. They're so good. But as I've been kind of like listening to these artists like Nirvana and Radiohead and all these musicians that have been like really impactful and really famous, I've been like just wondering, I'm like, where are all the trans musicians? Like, I have no doubt that they're out there and they're creating great music, because in my opinion, trans people just make the best art. I mean, of course I'm biased in that way, but I just feel like trans people make the best art. So yeah, Tom, I've been meaning to ask you if there are any trans musicians that you're willing to recommend to me, because so far I've greatly enjoyed many of the recommendations that you've given to me. So I've been meaning to ask you that. So I'll make a note of that. Stanley Jordan is someone that I need to look up and see the music. As a big mermaid enjoyer, I'm so glad that mermaids are transition culture. Yep, yep, absolutely. She may not have the part she wants, but yeah, mermaids as female with their femininity rather than yeah, for sure. Yeah, I feel like there's so much queer coding that can be done with the mermaid archetype, right? You're moving to a different state soon. Gotcha, Shadow, for sure, for sure. Well, best of luck on your move, and I hope that things get better in the new state that you're in. But yeah, and not just for you though, right? Like I'm just saying for anyone. And honestly, like this is something that I've really had to learn too, in these past few months. Like obviously, one of the big news stories that I've been following these past few months has been the occupation in Palestine, the genocide that the Israeli government is currently, you know, inflicting upon the Palestinian people. And it's been a really hard issue to grapple with, right? Because like we can sit here from our Western countries and look at the state of the world and with our privileged positions be like, oh yeah, of course that's like devastating and heartbreaking, and it can be really easy for us to disengage from that because of how hard it is. um but I think like we as human beings kind of owe it to the people who are in these vulnerable positions, who are actively hurting. I think we owe it to them to not look away and not ignore the problem just for the sake of our own comfort. And so it's been tough to kind of grapple with. Obviously, like you want to take care of your own mental health. You don't want to like fall into despair, because when you fall into despair, then you don't do anything, you don't get anything done, you're not productive, right? So not even just for the trans anti-trans bills, not for just the genocide happening in Palestine, or even the other horrible genocides that are happening across the world. Obviously there's always going to be horrible things that are happening, but it's our kind of privilege and duty to let go of our discomfort, let go of our feelings around it, and kind of just roll up our sleeves and do the work. And it doesn't matter how little work you do, because every little bit does count. And I think that can be really hard to remember when you're doing stuff on your own, right? Like if you're trying to spread awareness and you're trying to raise money, or you're trying to do anything, right? Like just by yourself, it can feel really overwhelming and really like you're, swimming upstream, right? Like it's just really everything's against you and it's impossible to make progress. But that's also why I really encourage, like, find those local advocacy groups, find the nonprofits in your area that are already doing the work, right? Already doing the organizing, and just see how you can help, right? Like I went to a couple events recently that were just like going there and making protest signs, right? Like you just go there with poster boards. They bring you poster boards with markers and paint and stuff, and you just go there and you make protest boards, and you can keep them or you can donate them for other people to use, right? Like there's little things like that that you can do, right? That make a big difference, that people are already doing, that you can contribute to. So whether it's like anti-trans bills, whether it's Palestine, whether it's whatever else is happening in your neighborhood, right? I think it's really important to pay attention to local events and local elections, right? There's an election in California coming up next month, so pay attention. Yeah, I think it's just super important to stay engaged, and to the extent that you can, right? Obviously, like you can't go to a huge protest every week and like throw away your livelihood, and because then you just burn out and then nothing gets done after that, right? Like it's about how do you make advocacy a part of your lifestyle, right? Like how do you incorporate it into your regular routine so that like you're sustaining yourself and you're sustaining the efforts for a longer period of time, that can do more impact, have a greater impact in the longer term, versus like trying to do as much as you can on your own really quickly, and then like burning out and completely giving up and like completely ignoring the issue after the fact, right? Like it's a lot of active effort, it's a lot of active work. It's a lot of mental work as well too, at least it has been for me. So yeah, I really encourage everyone to try to push past their discomfort and acknowledge your privilege and see what you can do in your neighborhoods. Let's see. Ella Feingold came out as trans not long ago, and she's an excellent guitarist. Awesome. I will check her out. Thank you. Wacky Deli, hello. Just popping in to say hi. If I could totally see your Favis tram popping off, even if it were dropped bi-monthly, that is really great to know, Wacky Deli. I appreciate the encouragement there. I will look into that. I'm gonna see if I can make it a more regular thing. I really do want to make more of your Favis trans. Billy Tipton is a trans jazz guitarist or jazz icon. Great, awesome. I will check him out. Thank you. Eru is here as well too. Hi Eru, thanks so much for stopping by. The artist The Scary Jokes is non-binary, and their music is all bedroom pop about queer relationships and breakup. It's great, awesome. I will totally check them out. Thank you so much for the recommendation. Marcelo, hello. Thanks for stopping by. Not to be harsh, but we should also have more conversations on how to do such work. I personally see people doing boycotts, but with the wrong attitude. Functionally, it's good, but it gives a bad idea. Yeah, and I think that's something that I've also had to learn too, right? Is that it really goes a long way to assume good faith. And I feel like that's something that, especially places like Twitter or any other like social media, like, Twitter, TikTok, anywhere that like requires these sort of like really extreme, heated, controversial statements, right? Like anywhere you go where they don't reward nuance, right? Where like nuance does not get rewarded on these platforms, right? I think like if you go to any of those places, like people are going to always like try to assume bad faith. I feel like that's a really bad habit that people have on those platforms. Like they see someone who like has a product from like a company that's being boycott, right? And like you assume like, oh, that person is evil, or they're like, ignoring the boycotts or blah blah blah. But like I think it goes a long way to just like assume good faith, right? So like let's say there's someone out there who like went and got McDonald's for lunch or something, right? And like for me, I'm going to assume good faith. I'm going to assume that like they maybe don't know about the boycotts, or like they don't know what is on the BDS list, right? And so instead of like attacking them and saying like, "Hey, fuck you, like you're evil and you've got blood on your hands," like that's going to, turn them off and like not want to engage with the problem. But if you like explain to them like, "Hey, this is what's going on, this is why you shouldn't do this," you're more likely to get a better reaction, and like they're gonna probably make the effort in the future, right, to not engage in the boycott. So I or not engage in with companies that are on the boycott list, I should say. But what I'm trying to say is that like everyone has sort of their way of doing advocacy, right? Like some people go to protests, some people contact their representatives, some people raise money for organizations, for charities, right? And I think there's no it's really hard to do it wrong, right? Like I think like there's a lot of people who will say like, "Oh no, you're doing this wrong," or "Oh, you should be doing this instead," or "This is more important," or "Why are you wasting your time on this," right? Or "You should be doing that," right? There's so much of that like kind of discourse. But I think like assuming good faith, assuming that people have like positive intentions, and like also I think assuming that people are doing things on their own, like not online, right? Like, if someone's like not talking about Palestine online, or they're not like sharing information or retweeting, like I'm not going to assume that they're just ignoring it, or they're like, trying to be neutral or anything. I'm going to assume that that person is probably doing stuff in their offline time, right? I'm going to assume that they are contacting their representatives, or they are going to protests or whatever, right? Like I think that's just a healthier way to engage with people and with social media, is just to like assume positive intent, assume that people are doing things not online, right? Like they don't have to necessarily show every little thing that they're doing. And I think like that can go a really long way in building momentum for the movement. All right, thanks for stopping by, Tom. I appreciate you hanging out. I'll probably also wrap it up soon. I've been kind of talking for more than an hour at this point, and I don't really know if I have much more to say. Oh, one more thing I'll say too. I've been practicing guitar a lot more, and I recently got my guitar some repairs. Like I just got it back from the shop yesterday, and it's so much easier and so much better to play now, and I'm really happy with it. So maybe in the future I will do some guitar playing on stream and stuff. I think that could be a lot of fun. I don't quite feel confident enough to do it now. I am like this close to almost being able to play one song. So maybe once I have like 2 songs in my pocket, we'll do like a guitar stream or something. But that's something else that I've been doing that has just been kind of like keeping me going, you know, keeping my head afloat, something that has just been giving me like fun and satisfaction in between all of the craziness that's going on right now. So as someone who's not on social media, the conversation is so weird to me. Yeah, I think people uh I think people just need to be kinder to each other on social media a lot of the times. I think that can go a long way. Yeah, yeah, we'll do a guitar stream in the future for sure. That should be a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm so grateful for you all stopping by and hanging out with me today. I genuinely thought that I was going to go live and no one was going to show up and I was just going to be talking to myself for an hour. So thank you guys so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Um and all of your comments as well too has given me some motivation and some excitement for continuing to do stuff on YouTube and make more videos, continue more streams and whatnot. I really do miss you guys when I'm not around, and I really genuinely care about all of you as people. Like I know that, you know, a lot of times YouTube feels like a numbers game, and you know, I'm just seeing your like little icons and your usernames and whatnot, but like you guys are all actual real people, and like you have made a conscious decision to click on my stream and watch today and type in the chat and hang out with me, and I don't I don't want to undersell that. So thank you, really, genuinely. It really means so much to me. I am so grateful. Um yeah, do your part and have good faith, for sure, for sure. If you want to play a guitar on stream, just make sure the equipment can pick up the sound. Yeah, that's something I'll have to do a little testing on Magical, making sure that I have the right like settings and whatnot to pick up the sound properly. But yeah, we'll do that for sure in the future. Yeah, thank you, Robin. I appreciate that. It's been a lot of fun. It's been nice to see you too, Shadow. It's nice to see everyone. Magical, Robin, uh, Tom, Marcelo, your Eru, everyone who stopped by. I'm so grateful, and especially like seeing these usernames that I've seen before, right? Like you guys have been coming to streams for so long at this point, and it means so much to me that you continue to show up even when I'm not doing stuff regularly. Um, I know. I you know, like I've been kind of saying, right? There's a part of me that wonders if I do kind of keep up with it and give it a real honest to God shot. Like could this YouTube channel grow into something bigger? Could it be something more successful? And if that ever does happen, you know, I'm not going to put all my eggs in one basket or anything like that, but if it does happen, if this channel does end up growing, if it does end up you know, getting to a point where it's like I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but if it does end up growing, you know, I'm not going to forget you guys. I'm always going to remember these folks that have been here since like the beginning and have been, you know, in the chat when there's only 5 people viewing, right? Like I really am so grateful for all of you who have been with me for so long and who continue to show up and are willing to continue to support me in the future. Like I I can't even begin to like wrap my mind around like how much that means to me. So really genuinely thank you so much. I'm so appreciative. Um but yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you guys again for tuning in. I will try to stream again soon. I don't know if it's gonna be anytime this month because, like I said, I am gonna be starting to pack and get stuff going so I can start moving back to my parents' house. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be streaming again this month, but I am working. I am actually right now actively working on my next Your Fav is Trans, and it is going to get done. I promise. I'm going to do it. It's going to happen soon. And I'll let you guys know once that video is close to coming out as well too. The OGs, exactly. For sure, for sure. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys again. I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. Stay safe and take care, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Have a good rest of your week. And I will see you all in the Discord, on Twitter, on other places on the internet. And we'll stay in touch. Bye bye for now.